At CrossFit Lincoln, our passion is positively impacting and changing lives by creating a strong, brave, healthy community through education. We talk about nutrition, fitness, mindset, and more. From the Row Flick studio, it's Aaron Perkypile, Phil Kneep, and Paul Konarski. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for CrossFit Lincoln Connections. I'm here with Paul and Phil. My name's Aaron. I realize I haven't been introducing myself, but I'm here with Paul and Phil, and we want to talk a little bit about today, volume versus intensity. Should I turn up the volume or should I turn up the intensity? What's the difference between volume and intensity?
Yeah, I think that's important to define because it kind of like, I feel like maybe people don't always know like the difference between volume and intensity. Like if I were looking at like a 40-minute workout, a CrossFit workout, I'm just gonna use CrossFit as an example because that's what most of us know. I would call that high volume conditioning, and although that's hard, it's not high intensity. So I would look at like a lot of volume conditioning wise would be like running 3 to 5 miles. Versus doing a 100-meter sprint is high intensity type of thing. But it's a little bit different in the weightlifting world, like what is high volume, what is not. So I don't know, maybe Paul, you can explain that one.
I would agree with that. In weightlifting world, you can look at, it's a little more cut and dry as far as like what or how you would calculate volume or intensity. In the weightlifting world, you would just look at how many sets did you do, how many reps did you do, what weight did you lift, and then just, add those all together, times those by each other, and that's your volume. And then intensity would be something like what kind of percentage did you use. If you use something like 50% of your 1 rep max, so like 50% of the heaviest weight you could lift, then that would be lower intensity. If it's just something like 100% or 95%, that would be higher intensity. CrossFit though, it's not as cut and dry, it's a little more ambiguous, but high intensity when you feel it. It's usually correlated with a really high heart rate.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like in the conditioning side of it versus weightlifting, the higher intensity stuff usually comes with lighter weights because you're moving faster and you're sprinting harder. So like I feel like it's important to define what that is, and it changes depending on what you're doing, really.
So on days that I find a 1 rep max or maybe a 3 rep max, would that be a high intensity weightlifting? That's what we're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's my follow-up question then. When it comes to metabolic volume, maybe metabolic conditioning volume, I guess I should say, kind of that 20 to 40 minute range, or just any kind of metabolic conditioning, how much should I be doing? For example, can I be fit if all I do is class at a CrossFit gym for an hour? Do I need to do another program in addition to that to be fit?
Let me get it.
Sure.
All right. Yes, you can be fit. Do you need to do something else? That's going to kind of depend on your preference, in my opinion. You don't need to do something else. If you are giving that class and that hour your everything, you probably don't need to, and you may not want to do something else. But that's also going to change as you go through your CrossFit lifespan, I guess you could say. I remember when I first started, I had been doing before I started CrossFit, I had been doing some other strength training. And I don't remember exactly who I was talking to, but I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do this other stuff in addition, when should I do that? And the person said, you probably just want to do CrossFit by itself for a couple months and then, try by itself for a couple months and then add stuff in there. And I'm thinking, all right, sure. And then in my head, like, okay, I'm going to go home and do the other stuff that I usually do. And I tried it like twice. I was like, I'm too tired afterward. So it's going to change as you go, though. Let's say you do CrossFit for a couple years and you adapt and you become stronger and your capacity increases and it improves. You're then going to be able to handle more workload over time. And then you might be able to do some extra lifting and then follow that with a conditioning or doing the class or something like that. So within our gym, the best way to start is do the class. Get to where you can do the class 5 days a week. Then see if you can do some of the focus work or the extra programming, maybe before or after class. Lots of times you're going to get, once you get into it, you're going to get benefit from increasing the strength training. Generally, once you get into it for, let's say, a year or something like that, your conditioning and your fitness is going to improve and increase, and then you're going to get additional benefit from doing extra strength, because most people just need to be stronger.
Yeah.
And so at that point, then over time, when you start your first year, you are going to be increasing your volume slowly over time, because maybe you're going from 3 days a week
Capacity
to 4 days a
increases.
week. Exactly.
Sure.
All that is going to work its way up. And then as that goes also, your ability for intensity is going to go up. When you first start, your intensity ability is not that high. It feels like it's super high, but as you progress through it, first of all, you got to push the volume up. As the volume increases, maybe 4 days a week, 5 days a week, it could be something like that, then your ability to exert more and more effort and more intensity within a workout is going to increase.
Sure.
And that's when, honestly, like at the beginning, well, as you get into it, maybe a year into your CrossFit adventure, if you will, you're going to be able to push the workouts to another level that you hadn't been able to at the beginning. So I just kind of rambled. I don't know if I had anything to say too specifically, but it's going to change over time. Your ability to handle volume and intensity is going to increase over time, but
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%. And if you look at the CrossFit methodology, when it came out, they were kind of trying to get away from the you have to do everything type mindset for working out. I mean, I remember being in high school and wanting to get better for sports and stuff like that, and I felt like I had to be in the gym for like 4 hours every day and like do everything every day. And you know, once I committed to just doing the CrossFit workout of the day on the website, that's actually when I started like seeing results. Like I felt
Wow.
the best, and like my strength went up and things like that. And I think it's because there's like a lot of recovery there. So like the extra stuff, like Paul kind of was mentioning, is like supplementing, like maybe something that you need to work on. Like a common thing for most people is building strength, and it might be a supplemental thing that you need to do on top of that. So I mean, the CrossFit class is an awesome general preparedness program. If you have other things to work on, like gymnastics or strength, it's great to do extra. Or if you're like competitive, like you want to be a competitive athlete beyond like local competitions, you need to have that, like build that base of volume a
Sure.
little bit before you outside of class.
So if there's a workout like Fran that's programmed, right, generally supposed to be 5 minutes or less, is that even shorter than that? People do it way shorter than that. I get that, but if that's the only thing programmed, should I do more that day?
I would say no, and but it also depends on your goals.
Sure.
I mean,
But
because
if I'm a general preparedness, I want to be fit, and that's the only thing that's programmed
Yeah.
that day.
yeah, I mean, like the goal is high intensity. I think the definition from CrossFit.com on their programming is constantly varied functional movements at high intensity. And so when you are focused on something and going as hard as you can for less than 5 minutes, high intensity is there. And it's really hard for people to like accept that 5 minutes is enough time to work out. But I mean, a lot of times, I mean, we'll see people floored from a 2-minute workout more often than we do from a longer workout. But
Right.
it also depends on your goals. Like if you're, you know, like maybe you have a weight loss goal, you may need to do something extra, go for a jog or a bike or a row or something,
Sure.
just to get that a little extra work in. But I would suggest
Yeah, my
doing
argument
that,
is-
but Paul may have a different theory on that.
Well, I was going to say my argument would be if you approach a workout like Fran that's supposed to be really fast, and you go too heavy and turn it into a 12-minute workout over a 3-minute workout, or you save something for your next session later, you didn't approach the workout appropriately. Because if you could have gone at 230 at a certain weight, but you went at 4 minutes, because you're saving yourself because you're going to do back squats later, or you did them before class, and you just want to be fit. You're not, chasing that kind of competitive type of a goal, or, you know what I mean? Like, I think you didn't approach the workout appropriately. And it's difficult from a coaching perspective sometimes to help people understand, like, I know that you're an athlete that's only going to be in here for class time. You need to challenge yourself to go to a dark place that you don't normally like to go to, because that's one of those workouts where you have to you can really make yourself not hurt yourself, but like it's uncomfortable, right?
Right.
What do you think, Paul?
I mean, I think Fran is one of the most painful workouts that there is, and I feel the worst after. Like, I feel like I can't recover for 30 minutes or 40 minutes sometimes afterwards, and I get so nervous. Like, I've been doing CrossFit now for 11 years, I think, and I get super nervous for Fran more than any other workout that we do, and it's one of the shortest ones that we have. So,
because you know how it's going to feel at the end.
Yeah, because I know how it's going to feel. Yeah,
or how it should feel, right?
Right. Well, no, I agree with that. I think diet, nutrition, you need a variety of nutrients. Same thing with exercise, you need a variety of things. Sometimes you need a longer workout. Sometimes you need some heavy strength training. Sometimes you need something that's real short and real potent. And that's
a treat, if you will.
A little treat at the end, yes, exactly. But that's the point of those shorter, really intense things, is it's a different stimulus to your body, and it's pretty potent. It gets the job done if you're able to, like you said, get the weight right, get the movements right to where you can really push it. So
cool. Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks for watching CrossFit Lincoln Connections. Excited to have you be here. You can learn more about us at info@crossfitlincoln.com. If you want to email us and ask questions, you can check out crossfitlincoln.com or schedule an in-person at crossfitlincoln.as.me/no sweat intro. Thanks.
Peace.